为自己发声，为自己解压。Hello， 大家好，我是黄泽，欢迎大家关注透气大品牌明晰赞助爆出的电影头条，为自己发声。
It's that, yeah. No, it's just the absolute peak in anti-personnel technology. I'm created of this carbon-based alloy, which is a lighter material, and then it's got this really cool matte black look, which is just kind of mean looking, and yeah, it could split and operate remotely as these two units. So that's very exciting. And one of my favorite elements, though, is what I call the Beetlejuice mechanism. And when I feel threatened, or there's more, there's multiple opponents that are in a close proximity, I can just like spikes come out of my body in all directions. And if you ever seen Beetlejuice, like they're holding him and he's really tiny, and then he just turns into spikes and like spikes her hand and she falls down. Well, it's just a really, the machine is just awesome in his ability. And I mean, when you see in the trailer, you can't beat him with just one person or two or three. There's four people that are trying their best, and you have to see the film to see if they succeed. But yeah, they're billing him as the most lethal Terminator yet, and I personally agree, and I may be a bit biased, but I'm glad that you kind of feel the same way. So maybe we're getting close to achieving something close to that.
Oh, I think he was brilliant. But then I knew that because I cast him. I do, if I have one skill, I think it is recognizing the talent of others. We always wanted Gabriel, who was in the script called Gabriel before we even cast Gabriel. That's the way we wrote him before Gabriel ever showed up. So it was destiny.
He's also, you love to work with somebody who knows that, as talented as they are, they don't have all the answers, and they're willing to listen to others, and they're willing to collaborate and include input and allow space for input. So that was really, really, as an actor, you can't ask for more. And then also it's good to work for somebody that you're a huge fan of, and that I was excited to see what he looked like for the first time, because I love Deadpool so much, and I tell everybody. No, it's just like, he's all tatted up, which is like reserved for just badass. And but he was really relaxed. He seemed like somebody you just wanted to hang out with, and the fact that you get to work with him and realize that not only does he know where his talents lie, he also knows where others are better equipped to help succeed. And somebody who doesn't have an ego and is willing to open up the process to others is always somebody you want to work with.
I don't feel stress in the same way most people do. I think there's something wrong with me. There's probably a psychological diagnosis involved. But I feel a sense of responsibility, but I always feel that, again, because of my superpower in identifying talent, people and others, I always feel like that no matter what happens, if I don't have what it takes to get the job done, I have no problem asking for help from others. So that gives you a sense of security that there is limitless resources to get it right, because there's limited talent or unlimited talent around you. But I do feel a sense of responsibility. I know this film is the 6th Terminator movie, even if it's the third in terms of continuity with Jim's. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who, you say it's heightened, but for all the same reasons, there's a lot of hatred about it. There's a lot of fatigue about it. And I understand that. I might have been one of those people too. And I think this movie will surprise them because we weren't trying to make a statement or do anything that was, we just want to make a good movie. And I think this is a good time at the movies to see this movie. It's fun, it's filled with action, and it's got characters that we all love and care about. And we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, just make an entertaining film. It's a huge benefit to own Blur, to be surrounded by artists all day long and work with them. It is amazing, and it is, Blur always becomes the base of operations. Like at Blur in Deadpool, we did several visual effects sequences, but we also edited there, and I'm there with all my friends and family, and it's the same with Terminator. We edited Terminator there, and there's another 100 artists there working besides who can chime in and give me their opinion on. We do little screenings of the movie, and everybody sort of tells me what they think, and it's great because you're calling on the wisdom of, again, many people, and almost all of those people were in some way, again, chosen. That sounds pompous. Asked to join. Asked to join our company. Dark Fate is Jim's title, and I think it really comes from the darkness that Sarah, Terminator 2 ends with hope, but the changes that Sarah made, they have repercussions, and she may have stopped Judgment Day, but what she really did was kick the can down the road. The rise of AI is inevitable. Judgment Day is inevitable, and that's a dark future. I think Jim has always portrayed it that way. The difference here is that the darkness comes from a different place than you would expect. And it's not just a military machine that goes bad. It's a little more complicated than that. So, Jim's paranoid about technology and about what the direction the world is heading to. And I think that's why he made the film originally. And he's still paranoid. And you can feel it in the DNA of this film too. It's in the DNA of the franchise, darkness. They're apples and oranges. Deadpool was, every one of them has a different set of challenges. For Deadpool, it was how to balance the comedy with the action and the emotional story, the heart. In this movie, it was really how to be true to the franchise, but how to balance these characters. I mean, Gabriel's the villain, so I kind of take you out of the balance. You're on the other end of the scale, but how do you balance Linda and Arnold? They all have their moment. But I mean, you want to balance the protagonists and how they, and Linda and Arnold. Every of the four characters, Linda, Arnold, Mackenzie, and Natalia, each of them need to be the most important character at one moment in time, and to balance all of them so it felt like a true ensemble, rather than it's just a movie about Linda or it's just a movie about Arnold, or that was the challenge of this movie, and I feel like I think it balanced pretty nicely. Oh, I hate that. I'll do everything I can you can't cheat. You can't cheat because then it takes people out of the movie. The whole goal is to make it feel like it could happen to you.
Right.
Yeah. The one I always use is Indiana Jones 1. There's nothing that Harrison Ford did that you couldn't do if you were just cool enough, or supernatural. In Indiana Jones 2, he falls out of a plane in a blow-up raft, and he lands on a mountain and survives. Nobody can do that. It took me out of the movie. Nobody's cool enough to do that. So I think you look at some of our action scenes and you go, oh, that's crazy. That's a crazy action scene. But I'd like to think that if you were just cool enough, there's nothing that's physically impossible.
Or a super soldier from the future, or a Terminator.
Or Terminator, you know, it's an unstoppable
So
killing
within-
machine. You can, like the first time I saw a John Woo movie, because I feel very strongly about that, and then I go to see Hard Boiled, and I go, holy f***, this guy just got shot in the kneecaps, and he gets back up and keeps fighting, or they don't run out of ammunition. And it bothered me for about 2 minutes into the first the fight in the tea room at the beginning of the movie, and then I just it. It's so cool. I don't care. And it is so kaigwa, the whole movie, but it's worth it, right? Like Independence Day is another one where I go, okay, this is just stupid, but they get away with it, and you let them get away with it. Whereas in Fast and Furious, maybe not so much. It's always been a female superhero franchise with Linda, but no, not as an agenda. It's just, I think, more interesting when a woman picks up a gun than with a man. We've seen that a lot. It's time for something else. But it wasn't made with an agenda. That just seemed to be the most interesting character choice for each woman.
Yeah, and women are naturally creative energy. You know, they're a creative force. And to see them go against nature sometimes for the benefit of others and to protect and to use their strength is, yeah, it's like you said, it's
I wouldn't presume to make a statement about gender. I don't feel qualified to make a statement on women's behalf. They do that just fine themselves.
I can speak to my own personal experience that you know, when I was growing up, I almost drowned when I was like 5. So I've spent the rest of my life trying to force myself to not fear water and to get over it. So I even became like a lifeguard when I was in high school and all that other stuff. And then this one, I got to do whole fight scenes underwater, you know, and learn how to scuba dive and do all that. So in the process, that was probably my favorite experience. But in the movie, it just feels like one big great. Kaigwa.
In this movie, it is so kaigwa, and then I just it. It's so cool. I don't care.